Y'all, welcome back, guys, to another review. It's been a minute. I took a little bit of a break. My last semester of school has started this semester. I currently graduate in December, so I wanted to get all my bearings straight, see what I had to do, make sure everything was all good. And yeah, my schedule is now. I know what my schedule was like until I graduate, so I'm going to be back posting videos. Again, sorry for the break. It's been about a month, 2 months now, but I just had to get everything squared away and ready to be able to produce videos for you guys, be able to have the time to do videos for you guys because I really love doing this and I want to continue to do this. So let's get into what we are reviewing today. To start off, let's just say this movie made me pretty angry. There are some positives with this, don't get me wrong, but before I go into my in-depth thoughts, I overall thought this was just a fine movie. I didn't really have high expectations for it just because of things I'd read, what I've heard, and just how the trailer looked and the marketing. It didn't really look like it was going to be like the first one to me, but we'll get into how it is very similar to the first one for all the wrong reasons. It also doesn't really get into the musical format. It really teases you with it. It doesn't fully go into that atmosphere of what you would call a musical, and I was really disappointed by that. And it really, the musical numbers really took away from the story and kind of took you out and distracted you. So to me, I was not a big fan of the musical numbers. And I'm a guy that loves musicals. I love theater. Like, I go to Broadway shows all the time. I go to my local place when the Broadway shows come in. I'm a big musical theater guy. But this, it did not work. First, before I want to do the negatives, I want to start with my positives. First, the cinematography. My God, guys, look, I'm a cinematography nerd. I love camera shots. I love everything about it. But just like the first one, it honestly may be better cinematography in this one than the first Joker. It's beautiful. The city shots, the use of spotlights is incredible. A lot of overhead shots from the overhead or over the shoulder behind Joker's back in these musical sequences is really beautiful. And the lighting, like I said, there's the spotlights, like I said previously, but the lighting overall in this movie, specifically in certain scenes where a fire happens in the prison, certain city shots, a late night talk show, or not late night talk show, but an interview type thing set in a prison where the lighting I really, really liked and enjoyed. And I thought a lot of the positives of this movie come from the cinematography and the way that the feelings you're able to evoke while what's going on behind Arthur. I thought it was really cool. I liked what they used in this movie, and that's the biggest positive to me. The other positive is also the production design. This kind of goes along with the cinematography. The production design for all the sort of musical numbers, I guess we want to call them musical numbers, were pretty cool to look at, especially this rooftop scene where there's a big moon and there's another set where it's like a chapel, and it's these kind of glowy white stairs. That's really cool, that I liked a lot. But for the most part, my only two positives were the cinematography and production design. I do want to point out that Phoenix is actually really great in this again. I really liked his performance. It had a lot more nuance and layers, especially while trying to figure out if he is the Joker or the Joker is just this persona or a symbol for the people. Like, do people really care about Arthur Fleck, or do they just care about the Joker? And that's where I want to give kind of props to Todd Phillips for bringing these questions up. But the reason I'm angry is because he doesn't bring these questions up to the very end of the film, and that will lead me into my negatives. Like I said before, I kind of have a half negative, half positive with the fact of I give props for Phillips trying to deconstruct Arthur to make him realize people love the Joker. People see the Joker. People don't see Arthur Fleck. That's always wanted his whole life, for him to be seen, for people to treat him correctly. And he thought he had this with Joker, but he comes to realize that the people view Joker as a symbol. They don't love Arthur Fleck. They love the Joker, which it's a really cool thought in deconstruction. I just wish they started this conversation at the beginning of the movie and not the end. For starters, this is basically the first movie done again, except the third act is extremely different. Phillips tries to get you to sympathize with Arthur, or the Joker, whatever you want to call it, once again, but this time it really didn't fly for me, because in the first film you can get away with sort of feeling bad. You know, you could argue self-defense. He was getting bullied, how he was getting treated, he acted out. But we know what happened from the last movie. We know the actions that he did. He killed 6 people. You cannot make me sympathetic for this man. One, he killed 6 people, and the lives he has ruined because of these murders. How the world has been affected, especially Gotham, and the closeness of the people affected to these murders. It really just didn't work with me and didn't fly, because you can't do it over after we already know what he's done and how he's affected people. They make it clear throughout the film also that he's murdered 6 people. Like, I guess, I wonder if they did that on purpose to reiterate it, but if you keep bringing that up, I'm not going to feel bad for this guy. You shouldn't feel bad, but they tried to play that card, and the film just decides if the plot is Joker is an alternate personality to Arthur, or Arthur is actually the Joker. But this idea, this construction, does not excuse his actions of the previous film, and it makes me confused as to how they tether that together here. And he's trying to make this musical comedy courtroom drama, and it doesn't work. You can't have all those factors put together. It came across very insensitive to me, and he would talk about the murders that Arthur did in the previous film, and he would try to get you to sympathize with him, and then he would double down with the sympathy by joking about it. And it really, you can probably yell at me, be like, bro, this is the point of the Joker, but like, you can't do it again with what he has done. If that's the best way I can describe it. Also, there's a certain scene, I won't spoil it, but it's near the end in the courtroom. It's a courtroom set piece where he's talking to certain people, and this witness is saying, like, I can't sleep at night because of you. You've ruined my life. I'm scared. I never used to be scared of life, but you're the reason that I can't walk outside my house. And it's just really, really serious. And it like, honestly, up until a certain thing happens, I thought it was the best directed scene in the film. The tension, the acting, it was great. And then Phillips marks this down and doubles down with a joke about how Arthur himself, says a joke about how he killed this guy's friend. And that's what really the whole movie is like, and I really did not like that. It really didn't rub me the right way. It made me very angry, like I said. Also, with all those negatives, for me, that's just like my personal gripes. This movie is also extremely dull and boring to me. It doesn't have a lot to say, considering it's trying to do the same thing as the first, but with lesser degree, and the big swings he takes creatively, where I was excited for things to go, he pivots, and it just makes me confused what the end goal was with this movie. What was the point? What are we doing back in this world? It didn't really feel like a sequel. It felt like a very small, drawn-out epilogue. And look, I get Todd Phillips is not some auteur director just based off of one movie, and I think people need to calm down a little bit. I'm going to say it. I'm going to put that out there. I think people need to calm down a little bit with that, because while Todd does take some big swings in this, for me, it ended up being a big old strikeout. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Joker. It was a little bit of a rant, a little bit of upset, but I really just hated how this was presented, and I was very surprised with the final product we were given. I hope that doesn't deter you from seeing it, because again, film is subjective. Maybe you'll like this. If you like the first one, I don't know if I'd recommend it. I honestly don't know if I'd recommend this movie in general. It's just one of those weird movies that doesn't know what its purpose is for, and I hate when that happens. But hey, maybe you'll like it, and I'd love to know if you liked it or maybe didn't like it in the comments below. I'd love to discuss. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, or night, and take care.